And I should be recording and live. So hey everyone, I'm nervous so I touched my face. But hey everyone, my name is Memento Dolor, and if this is your first time ever watching my stream, then welcome, or I guess you're watching the VOD back. My name is Memento Dolor, as I've said already, just sort of closing things out, things I don't need up to distract me. I made the channel a little over 2 months ago, and I haven't really done anything too much with it. I actually followed a few streamers that I like, and I've been watching since. But I've been mainly active on YouTube. Now, what this means in general is I have neglected the Twitch side of things. And that's okay. I wasn't supposed to come right off the bat, right out the gate, running, doing everything should be natural. And I want it to be. I don't want things to feel forced. I don't want things to be like, oh goodness, out of place. With that being said, I would like to go over what you can expect from the channel. Hey T-Witch1, what you can expect from the channel going forward. Now, what I'm doing today will normally now happen on Sundays. This is going to be a channel review, let you know sort of what's coming up in the week and what you can expect to see on the channel. These things are subject to change, as of course there may be new trends or new things that I will enjoy playing or doing with the community, as well as things that I would enjoy doing that maybe I start something, I'm not enjoying it. You may see that on YouTube where I started playing Elden Ring and quickly learned it's not for me. Never tried adult Soulsborne game. Figured I'd try Elden Ring. It just feels like a button mashing simulator, and I've just never been good with those types of games. But yes, so some of the main series that I can sort of promote here right now on this live stream is I've been doing a lot of stuff with Cradhammer, which was Pudge. Changed his name, I guess, for some naming issues, not related to the Dota character, just, I guess, trying to get them on things like Twitch and Discord and so on and so forth. But he is Cradhammer now. We've been playing Raft. Been having a real good time with it. It's a nice, good Lego talking game, is the best way I can put it, where we can just sort of mindlessly do menial tasks and still talk to each other. That has been going well. I think at the time of this live stream, there's 11. Today is there should be 11 videos of it out now. But there's 14 recorded. It's a really good time. There were 2 episodes where I recorded some stuff trying to get some sort of admin things taken care of on the raft, and obviously missed Crag the entire time. We just actually finished the playthrough of Halo, the first Halo game, Halo Combat Evolved, on the Halo the Master Chief Collection, and so that's been pretty good. Neither of us are good at shooters. We have never really been good. We stumbled, is the best way I could put it, through Halo, but we will be playing through the entire series, at least on the Master Chief Collection. We may touch Infinite at some point. It seems the community has turned its back on Infinite at the time of this live stream, but I never do anything because it's popular. I do it because I want to have fun doing it. I am currently doing a single-player playthrough of Dragon Age Origins. I will be doing the entire Dragon Age series from Origins, Awakening, Dragon Age 2, and Inquisition. That will be coming out on the channel as they are recorded and uploaded. Actually, a episode of that went live today on the YouTube channel. So I hope you all will enjoy that series. I fell in love with the Dragon Age series when I was younger and played it for years on the Xbox 360, and actually played through Inquisition on the Xbox One X. It's been a learning curve for me to go from a console to a PC, I think I did well. I only died like twice. Twice. Another thing, as I get some water. Another thing to talk about is the group call. Now there is a group call Discord channel which is linked somewhere. I'm still learning on how to put extensions and things like that on the Twitch channel. But there's a group call Discord linked somewhere, should be on the channel page. The group call is essentially going to be like, for the best example I can give, it's sort of like the Yachts Cast main channel, or like the Northern Line live show channel, where it's where the content creators of the group call network will upload content either as by themselves, or as most of the content on that channel has been myself and my honey bunny, Esat, and I have been playing some games on there. We've done Human Fall Flat, It Takes Two. The newest thing that sort of has gained some traction, which I'm glad because we had fun playing it, was Orcs Must Die 2. We're going to play through that entire series, and sometimes they'll have a series that either stem off of series on other channels. Like on my channel, I played through the single player Orcs Must Die 1, and then of course joined Esat Nafiman on the group call channel to do the multiplayer Orcs Must Die 2. So it's been fun. We've enjoyed tower defense games. Since our relationship started, we played, which is actually, there's an episode of it on the group call channel. We played some Balloons Tower Defense battles, the first one. I've done some Balloons Tower Defense battles too, which you can expect to see some of that more on the group call channel as it progresses. I'm sort of going to see how I feel. There may become a slot for Balloons Tower Defense battles 2 here on my channel, or there may be a Balloons Tower Defense battles 2 slot on the group call channel. Now, of course, we don't discriminate against any race or gender or anything like that. One of the things that Esat, being the sort of the quote-unquote founder of the group call channel, as she is Filipina, we will be posting more stuff in the timeline that fits in the evening for the Philippines. So it'll be early morning here in the US in the Eastern time zone, in the evenings for the Philippines. I am going to keep streaming on here. The schedule will be as follows. Again, what I'm doing today is going to be on Sundays. Hi, Solid Snake. Where it's going to be, this is what I'm going to try to run down through the week, and I'm going to just do a community chat, check in with everyone, say hi to people. This will be, you can ask questions. So Solid Snake, this is sort of my coming back to Twitch. I streamed about a month ago, did some stuff. I've been doing more focused on YouTube side of the house, which I don't know, YouTube's not out there. It could be out there. Actually, I think it's more that way, because I don't know where actually YouTube is headquarters. I guess it's in Google, which would be that way for me. Sort of. Anyways, I've been focused more on YouTube. Hey, you. It's you. Do you want to make an appearance? Come here. No? But anyways, so this would normally have be taking place on Sunday, but since it's the first one, I'm doing it here. Normally Mondays will be a role-playing game. Tuesdays, which will be following the schedule tomorrow in this time slot, 5:30 to 7:30, we'll be doing a trading card game. I'm looking at cards. Yeah, that was my pet. That was Sophie. She was here. She's now wandered off. But Tuesdays will be trading card game Tuesdays. Either it's going to be Magic, Hearthstone, cards, which I think I'm leaning towards cards, just as I'm not very good when it comes to Hearthstone, and I don't really want to put in the money to be good at Magic the Gathering Arena. So it may be cards tomorrow, is what I'm leaning towards. Wednesday is going to be guest spot. I'm not good at first person shooters, nor am I good when it comes to like battle arenas. I panic. I panic in a heartbeat. So you would see me go uh, go ballistic, and not in a good way. I actually played. Gosh, this was when it first came out, Apex Legends, and I was playing a hero that could like put a shield around your allies. Well, it was me and two other people. We were chilling, going through, walking along. We get shot at, and of course, me being Memento in classic Memento fashion, I panic. So instead of dropping the shield on me and my allies, apparently I accidentally pressed the button that called in an airstrike on the location of my choice. So I literally wiped the team by essentially thinking I was putting a shield over us by calling an airstrike on our position. So that was fun. But yeah, if you actually Solid Snake's, if you go on the YouTube channel, Memento Dolores, the same name as it is here. That's um, you can see how much I panic in just the multiplayer playthrough with Crackhammer in Halo, and how sometimes we panic, and I've chucked a few grenades, plasma grenades, on the side of his face. So there is that. But Wednesday will be a guest spot Wednesday, which I'll try to either work with other streamers, as well as work with people in the group call network, which will either be ESOT or Crackhammer at this time. We are looking to grow. We're trying to just have fun out here, things like that. And then Thursdays will be Throwback Thursdays, which will be games from either my childhood or from other people's childhood that I can either play two-player with. The first Throwback Thursday game that I'm going to try to do is, I love RTSs, and it wasn't my first, but one of the ones that you can still access, because a lot of the old RTSs are, for me, that I played as a kid, are no longer available to play. But the one I will be playing through first is Army RTS from 3DO. I remember playing it on the PlayStation 2, and actually got it on. I don't know why I got it on the GameCube, but I had it on both, and I just loved playing. I love RTSs. I'm not good at them. Like StarCraft 2 kicks my butt. I don't delete my stream history. I don't. I think it only lasts for 14 days, and since it's been a month, um, I think any of the VODs have gone. I will start uploading my VODs now to the YouTube channel and having like a VOD playlist so you can always watch back. I will agree that RTSs have been easier for me on the computer, on the PC, but because I had Lord of the Rings, Battle for Middle Earth 2 on the Xbox 360, as well as I had all three of the Lord of the Rings RTSs on a laptop at the time. But I got it on the 360, and my God, yeah, RTSs on consoles are a nightmare. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still learning how to do all this. So I will have extensions at some point. I will have things that are better looking than what you have here now. I thank you both, or however many people are watching, for dealing with me as this is a growing thing. So it's going to be a learning curve. I've never done, see, I never did Red Alert, like some of the classic ones I never touched, like Red Alert I never touched, Age of Empires I never touched, StarCraft until very recently I had never touched. Um, there's some other big RTSs, again, I can't think of them. So it's like I just never got into them, even though I love the genre. My big sort of RTS experience was um, my big RTS experience. It has been Lord of the Rings, Battlefield Middle Earth series, and Armament RTS. Trying to think. I wouldn't necessarily call like the Total War games RTSs, and like Empire at War, Star Wars Empire at War. They're sort of an RTS. I am 27. I actually had a birthday not too long ago. So, yeah. I guess I can talk about that since this will be the first sort of real launch into Twitch. Um, I 27, Southeast US. Um, I mean, young is a relative term when I've come to young or old is a relative term when it comes to gaming. Um, yes, Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle Earth. It was either Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle Earth or Rome Total War. I got them very close around the same time. I can't remember which was my first ever computer game, like that wasn't Minesweeper or Solitaire or something like that. I can't tell you I loved it. I played it. I played the heck out of it. Um, More so I played I know, and the problem is like most they only have, at least that I know of, computers like disk slots for them. Like I don't know of anywhere where I know there's, you know, we don't talk about it, but there's pirated ways you can play it. But like my computer, my gaming PC that I have doesn't have a disk slot. So even if I bought it, played it, and did it, I would love to. I miss, God, I miss those days. Um, I know Rome Total War had a revamp, and I bought it and played it. It's just the nostalgia wasn't there. They changed a few things in Rome Total War, but it's just you can still play the original, but it just I'm a big visual guy, and I don't like some of the graphical changes they made on Rome Total War. And I know, ooh, now you have me interested. Solid Snakes. Now I'm interested. I'll have to look into that because it's not necessarily a price issue for me. It was just like, yeah, I don't have the disk drive. Because man, I love. Yeah, I understand that. And honestly, the only reason I liked Rome Total War is I'm a big Greco-Roman history guy. Um, so I didn't even know they had done Shogun Total War. I just literally saw, hey, here's a video game. You can play in the Roman world and build armies and fight things. And I was like I think, gosh, 7-year old me, maybe a little older, but not by much. 7, 8-year old me was like, oh yeah. And I mean, we're talking about like I didn't even know you could play online. Like I because I was a kid, I was literally just and here's another thing. I didn't realize that our family computer sucked. Like I mean, again, it was just a general computer. It was mom's office computer, and I didn't realize that the unit size went up. So I was just used to playing for like almost like maybe a decade on like the lowest unit size for armies because that's what the computer could handle. So when I got a gaming laptop and they're like, you want to change? I played it for the first time and the unit size was like by default larger. My brain melted. You know what? Actually, if you want a good game that I have found that has a good Total War, or not a Total War, a Lord of the Rings mod, EU4 Lords of Universales, they did a good, at least from what I've played of it. Now, again, I don't have access to all the DLC in EU4, but the EU4 mod from that community, from what I have found, has been very good. The only problem I have with it, and before you say, "Oh, Memento gives it high praise," they give a lot more of Arda than just Middle Earth. They do a lot of the expanded, like, sort of, they don't go to the Undying Lands, they don't go west, but you go a lot more east and south than a normal Lord of the Rings fan is used to. And sort of the Jesus, what was I trying to say? More than it's sort of like speculated stuff, from not necessarily from Cimmerillion, but from notes and notebooks that he had. So they really build the world, but like to go for a full conquest in that in the Lords of Universalis, um, it would take a lot. And I also like in the Lords of Universalis that you can pick different timelines, just like in regular EU4, you can pick, hey, here's the Desolation of Smog, here's when the War of the Ring starts, here's when this happens. You can pick different timelines. Um, I don't know what CNC Generals. I will have to check that out. I've never heard of it. There's a lot of RTSs. I mean, there's just with any game sort of genre, there's a lot of options to choose from. But uh, for me, I've never heard of that. Command and Conquer. Now that you said that, I I think I bought it. I think I bought like Command and Conquer 3 or 2. Played like 2 levels and was like, nope, just I didn't get into it. I don't know why. I mean, because it's been a while. Because I sort of vaguely remember there is no 3 or 2. Then I may be thinking of something else. I know I sort of remember Command and Conquer. I've heard the name. What could I be thinking of? Because there was something that it wasn't Age of Empires. Because it was futuristic. Maybe it was like Red Alert, or maybe that's what I'm thinking of. But maybe I don't know. I just know I picked up another RTS, tried it, and it just wasn't for me. And see, the problem with RTSs that I find for me is once I find the way to win, I just have never. I'm not very good in multiplayer when it comes to most things. But so when it comes to RTSs, like you'll watch people, especially the biggest, you get StarCraft people who can just they click 85,000 times a minute, and I'm over here trying to build my second barracks, and they've built like 2 barracks, eight units, and they've got. And it's like I'm done. Okay then. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I understand where you're coming from, Solid Snakes. When you find a game that you just love the lore of, you delve into it. And for me, that was the Dragon Age series. I know it's not an RTS, but for me, it's like, yeah, I dove in to the Dragon Age series. So when people are like, yeah, it's about you go into this and it's this it was a war between these factions and this started because this guy's son died in a mysterious way or so on. Like believe me, you get the um what should we call it? Get the Charlie from Always Sunny like doing the little data point lines of like here's how the whole story goes. I love Dragon Age. I finished Inquisition, but for the life of me, I can't remember how it ended because it's been a hot minute. I mean, gosh. Um, but Enchantment. I don't know what enchantment is. I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like I've named something. I've named something wrong, and 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 this is like streamer fog brain has kicked in. But gosh, what was I gonna say? I'm hoping that Dragon A, the fourth one, that apparently they've been working on. Apparently they've said at some time they're gonna release it, but they've been saying that now for I think since Inquisition came out. They're like, hey, we're working on the next one, and just sort of slowly died. Excuse me. Um, but yeah, I don't get it. I just have never. I like the series, and I know that they. Well, Inquisition, I definitely agree. Wasn't Dragon Age 2 so far has been the best for me. Um, but I think the problem was they doubled down on Anthem, and that just sort of screwed them. Because I think they were like, yeah, we're going to take the development team off of this and work on Anthem, and then it just died. And it's like, Anthem, from the limited experience I had playing it, because I played it like a total of maybe 2.5 hours. So yeah, I played it on the Xbox One X or S or whatever the newest system was at the time. I liked it. I've always been a Xbox over PlayStation guy. Um, and I've never been like, oh, this graphics is better. I just grew up on Xbox. I grew up on Halo. Um, so it was like I just was ingrained as a small child. Like I had the Xbox. I had the Xbox, the original Xbox. Then I got the PlayStation 2, Xbox 360. And I think I kept upgrading the Xbox. I never got a PlayStation 3 or 4, and I maybe will get a 5. Depends on how the channel grows, what route I decide to take. That's sort of the um it sort of depends on what the community, and that's sort of what I want to get into here real quick. Um, I want to listen to you all. If you guys want to see something, I will give it a shot. Just know that I will not. Uh, I know I really just thought you were fisting in that spots, and I was just not going to touch it. Solid Snake. I figured you do you. Um, but I I want to sort of make the community happy, but I also want to keep my own mental health and happiness because there'll be some things they'll be like, yeah, no, I can't do that. Same way with like if people go play Fortnite or play Apex Legends or CS:GO or something like that or Dota. Oh, I've tried Dota. I am not good. Again, I panic. I don't know what items to buy, and I just panic. Something will happen. People will jump on me. I'll get ganked, and it'll be like, oh my god, just too much overload. I'm the type of guy of I want to yeah, so I did League of Legends. Um I did the bot stuff and it's sort of like Dota. You do the bot stuff, right? You face off against the bots and you face off against the little, piddly stuff. And then you jump into a real match. And Smurf accounts are real. And I'm not saying that I faced off against Smurf accounts in my first like 10 games, but my god, I would get in and I'd play. I had like Zeus or Axe, just some of the sort of the simpler, like, this hero does this. And it's like, cool, I'm gonna do that. I go to do it, I die. And see, that's the point. And actually, I was talking with Crackhammer about this. Is that because Dota's a little bit more different than League of Legends, but Dota definitely is like, yeah, if you don't know not only what your hero can do, Teens heroes can do, what items you need to buy to nullify the abilities of the enemy team. Amen to that. Excuse me. Well, Eddie, all gaming communities, I have yet to find an online gaming community that has a win and loss ratio of like you advance either through wins or losses that is not toxic. The only community that I feel isn't a win or loss community that is toxic as well, I found the Minecraft community. There are a lot of people who are just toxic in it. You'll log onto servers and they're just depending on which server you go on. Now again, I've had some amazing servers in the past I've been a part of and been on. Yeah, really toxic in Minecraft. There's just but and again it comes down to the human aspect of it. It's not that like they set up they go in creative mode and set up TNT in your base or encase you in obsidian or things like that. It's more like you go on and the chat is like again whatchamacallit, racial slurs, homophobic nonsense or political stuff. It's like I just wanna like build a house. I wanna like the last thing I was working on and it was a good at least when I was part of it. I mean I wasn't like a mod or an admin or anything, but the minstrel craft server, the one that is like teamed up with the odds cast to a certain degree, their server it was pretty much dead. And you had like the good good admins, good I never saw anything bad, anything racist. I'm making up new words now. Racist or homophobic or anything like that. It's just more like, yeah, hey, I'm building. Hey, does anyone have any extra this? Or hey, I was in creative mode building something, and does anyone in not creative mode need like 700 logs because I filled my inventory? Things like that. And it is. But see, that's the thing. That's what I thought too. Is like, hey, yeah, let's play some Minecraft, relax. I would always play Minecraft and listen to YouTube videos or have a Twitch stream. It's just like, yeah, I'm gonna relax, decompress for the day, just chill. So Solid Snakes, since you've been chilling and chatting with me, are you a streamer? Are you a content creator, or are you just like scrolling through the bottom of just chatting, been like, hey, that guy, let's talk to him? Or well, where did you find me? Did you find me? I know I tweeted it out, but just an ordinary guy. Well, you know who else was an ordinary guy? Uh, I don't know where I was going with that. I had a tangent. It was going. It was fading into the realm of a story, and it just jumped off the cliff and died. Just, I mean, and it wasn't even a slow descent. It was straight up like gravity of like, what I think Mercury has like an extremely high gravity, just instant death. Instant death, mind you. But it's all cool. I'm sort of wondering when Twitch and the whole streaming industry is going to implode on itself. And what I mean by that is, like, I've been a YouTube watcher and Twitch enjoyer for years. And I feel there's more of us out there. It's okay. I mean, essentially, I was just trying to say that Mercury, the planet, has just a higher gravity, a higher uh, gravitational pull on its surface. But but like I was saying, how many more ums can I fit in here? I've been a Twitch enjoyer and YouTube watcher for years, decade. I think over a decade now, and I sit here, like the Odds Cast. I grew up on them. Um, I think. See, that's what. But I think I have no idea. Maybe I'm talking out my left toe. I don't know. Maybe it is Jupiter or Saturn that has a higher gravity. I don't know. I'm not a very good space guy. But I just keep wondering when Twitch and YouTube are going to implode on themselves when they're just too top heavy anymore. I understand that the ad revenue is what fuels the companies, but at a certain point, there's only so many people that can be watched at one time. You know, you have like the ninjas, and it is true with Google. Yeah, but see, I miss the days. Going off on another tangent here. I miss the days where you could just look at someone and go, "I think this," and you talk with the person, and you'd either disagree with each other or go, "Yeah, that sounds probable. I that could be the truth," and you'd be like, "Yeah." And you could be completely wrong, but it'd be like, I could like reason like Mercury's closer to the sun, so maybe the sun's gravitational pull messes with it, or maybe because it's hotter, like Mercury and Venus are hotter, maybe the heat has something to do with it, and I could talk it in my own mind and go like, yeah, that made sense to me. Now Google, like you Google like which planet in the solar system has the biggest gravitational pull, and it's like, oh, Jupiter. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong for doing that. I mean, of course, you're right. Factually, you're right. But I miss those days where it's just, you used to, just, I still do that. It's like, I will refuse to Google something. Just because, like I tell people in the conversation, it's usually how much I care about the topic. Um, and it's not, and like I was about to say, it's more if how much I care about the topic. If I need to know the actual truth, right answer, I'll Google it. But if it's more of a conversational point, it's like I could care less. I could care less if I know how many stars make up the constellation of Orion. It's like you got three in the belt, maybe three on the bow, two the sword. Let's just go like 12. You know, I guess I could wait tonight and go outside and count. But you know, it's more of those things where it's like, how much do I actually care to know? I do find the thing I Google the most. I'll be sitting in either watching TV with my mother or with friends, and I always wonder my biggest uh, thing to ponder. Uh, yeah, but I'm an American. I don't have to know facts. Are you kidding me? I When has an American ever known the facts when just going to say something? You make it seem like knowing the truth before spouting nonsense isn't the American way. I guess that's the problem though. Apathy of knowing what's real and what's not. But the most thing I Google, my Google search history is like, how much is so and so? How much how much is does this person make per episode? That's my normal Googling. Is like, how much is a, you know who is surprisingly rich? Literally surprisingly rich. I don't know why. She's very successful and she's been around. I mean, she looks great for her age. She's been around for a while. But Dolly Parton, she was just surprisingly rich. It was like, oh my goodness. She's like 600 some odd what $1 million rich. Well, net worth. I shouldn't say rich because, you know, she has Dolly Wood and she's got her house and her cars and all that. But I mean, even so, even if 1/10 is if that is liquid cash, that's still about $64 million. That's like mind blowing. Um, I guess she doesn't have to work 9 to 5 anymore, or maybe she does. Maybe she does. I shouldn't rag on her. She's been, apparently she's very generous as well. Because I always go down that Google rabbit hole, like, well then, who is she married to? What's her kids' names? And you just sort of start clicking, sort of like a Reddit thread. You like, I found myself diving down the deep rabbit hole of Reddit before too, where you'll get like a random subreddit recommended to you, and you go, oh, and then you just start scrolling through, and you find yourself, you start scrolling through this subreddit at like 9 p.m. and you blink and look up, and it's like 1:30 in the morning, and you go, what did I just do? And then you forget most of the stuff you watch, the videos or the posts or the memes. Memes. You know, I'll be honest with you, and mark my words, any people can clip this, people can post this to Twitter years from now, months from now, however long. If I ever become a viral meme, then my God, I will feel I have made it. I feel like if people can go, he's the meme guy, I'll be out in public and someone goes, that's the meme guy, and I'll be like, you best believe it's the meme guy. I will like sign it if you have a copy of it. I will like take selfies and be like, yep, meme. I will say it. I don't care. I am in the good state of Alabama, good old Alabama 100. I promise my significant other is not my sister, cousin, brother, uncle, aunt, mom, what have you. Which, I'll be honest, that sort of, if you want to know the state, and I'm throwing shade, I'm throwing them under the bus now, I feel Mississippi does that more than any other state. Alabama, we just got sort of the short end of the stick when it came to that meme. I mean, it's Mississippi. Mississippi does that. It don't just because. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it's more accurate about Mississippi. But just because, I don't know. I don't even know why it got started with Alabama. I'm sure probably some comedian somewhere made the joke about Alabama first, which there was back in the day because there just wasn't a lot of options growing up on, because that's sort of, people don't understand the reasoning behind the joke. And the reasoning behind it is back when it was large farm estates, before there were cities and internet and traffic lights. I mean, yeah, you'd have to walk for like 4 hours before you came to the next farm estate, and usually by that point, your family would settle the land. They settled it, maybe 200 years ago, and your great grandfather's brother's brother's wife's sister, so on and so forth. The land gets parceled out as the kids grow older, and they have families, and then of course you sort of marry your cousins because there wasn't that many options. You'd have to like travel for 4 days before you found someone who wasn't a family member. I will say this now, and I said this for years, and I'll say it about China, and I'll say it about Russia. I feel that they are worthless when it comes to the world stage on a militaristic level. And this may be American arrogance, and I admit to that. I fully understand that. But we have seen that Russia, I mean, against Ukraine, a smaller neighbor, no offense against any Ukrainians out there, and I do believe it was unjustified what Putin did. But Putin, he was supposed to be this big old scary boogeyman. Him and, I'm just going to call him Winnie the Pooh, China's leader. They're supposed to be these big superpowers. Russia couldn't even, I mean, what, it's been going on for a month now? Longer? Can't even take out Ukraine and has to threaten nuclear weapons? That has to say something. I mean, because it's not like Ukraine has NATO or the EU behind them. It's literally, we've sent them toys to play with, weapons and things like that. But it's just the fact that I really feel that Putin has lost it. And not that he's like demented or crazy. I just think that he realizes he's getting older, and he still has that KGB mindset of the USSR and Russia being the superpower it once was, and he wants to make it that way. And he literally just showed the world, with everyone watching, no, we can't do it. We can hack you. Oh God, Russia can hack people. Now that I when people go, oh, he can hack, yes, Russia has shown that they can hack for days. But when it comes to, well, it was the same way with Crimea. When they annexed Crimea in 2014 or what it was, like half of the tanks he went to invade the Crimean Peninsula with broke down. It was like, because they're Soviet era tanks. They're like 40 to 50, 60-year-old tanks. And it's like, yeah, we got it. We fear us. And at that point in time, they just weren't. And then they had that, yes, he does. He wants 100%, that is what he wants to do. He won't do it. His problem is a lot of the former USSR, CCCP states are part of the EU or part of NATO or part of a chain of alliances that he just can't take on. I do feel bad. Now, here, I'm going to say something, and it'll be fun if I get canceled before I even get started. But I feel for the Ukrainians, I do, but I also feel for the Russians. Because everyone goes, oh, Russians suck. Russia sucks. It's like, no. Just like when Trump was president, now Biden's president, now name any president in history, whether you are a liberal or a conservative or whoever, it's never the leader that is the country. And so everyone goes, oh, yeah. And I will say, some news outlets go, this is Putin's war. This is Putin's problem. But some go, oh, it's Russia. There have been demonstrations. There have been protests in Russia, in St. Petersburg and in Moscow and all over. It's like, no, we don't want this. Russian athletes, Russian stars that go, no, this is wrong. And it's just because the big boogeyman of Putin goes, I want it. And he has, just like with Hitler back in the day, who had all those people around him. Now, Hitler rose to power in a different way, just being charismatic. Putin just had sort of the right amount of charisma and had friends in the right places after being part of the KGB and then the mayor of Moscow and so on and so forth. But I think that's what is the problem. He's just old. And I saw a report, and this has been years ago now, that they suspected he had a stroke. And he may be mentally inept and just be out there. I mean, he can still talk. I mean, he's not like, of course, we've seen him make his little videos, sort of what I'm doing now. And he did that whole pro-war rally in Moscow. But the whole concept to tell the Russian people, we're denazifying Ukraine. How do you denazify a country whose president is Jewish? It's this. I think it's the only other Jewish-led country outside of Israel. And it's like, how do you denazify a Jewish presidential country? I understand, and that's where it sort of comes down to the country has to deal with it internally. Like, for example, if President Biden did something off the wall crazy, we have a system where we could conceivably impeach him if he did something like he nuked Brazil because he got bored, or rewind the clock. And if Trump just went, President Trump said, to deal with the border crisis, I'm just going to nuke Mexico. We could remove him because that's like, yo, that's wrong. Again, Russia, no one in the political sort of hierarchy of Russia wants to take on Putin because they'll end up dead. they'll be poisoned, they'll be ran off a bridge, they'll be sent away. I mean, again, he has that KGB USSR mindset, so anyone who could even conceivably oppose him will be sent off to the gulag or some. I'm sure you can't convince me there's still nothing out in Siberia where they have political prisons. But that aside, I do understand. But I did see it in memes, again, going back to memes, of the whole independent thought meme with Lisa Simpson talking about how everything got shut off from the Russians. They can't pay for their Netflix and they can't pay for services and goods and all this. That what you would call it? That they just got flipped off, and it's sort of like to see who's really in charge. See me test my between. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to think. So 1968. Are you? Are you George? No, not Georgia. Georgia was maybe no Georgia. I thought the Georgia uprising was in the 80s. Hmm. Hold on. I'm trying to piece where you are. Because I'm trying to think of the USSR at that time. The 68. You're not like any of the stans. I don't think, not Turkmenistan or Uzbekistan or Kazakhstan. Um, could you be like, no, Romania wasn't part of it. Okay, picturing the map. We got Germany, Poland, Austria. Are you are you Czech? Germany, Austria, Poland. It's either Hungary, no, because Hungary doesn't border Germany. So it's either the Czech Republic or Slovakia. Yeah, it's the Czech Republic. Or what? Didn't you guys rename yourselves recently? Or am I like losing it? Because I know like Turkey renamed its, well, didn't rename itself, just asked us to call them something that was more on point to their native tongue. You guys just, I'm sorry to get off track. You guys just suck when it comes to people invading. You had Hitler in World War II, and now you had shortly after you took a breather for like for a decade and a half, and then you have Russia kicking in your front door. Oh, jeez. And of course, that whole region. I mean, Europe's always just been um, rank with wars. I mean, it's just human nature. You have land. I want your land. No, let's see who army can kill other army faster, more effectively. Essentially, I love history. I love history. I'm pretty good at geography. Um, my downfall is always science. Science, math. I'm decent. Like I can add and subtract and divide, do the basic math, and you get into like trigonometry and calculus and all that. It's like, look, if 2 plus 2 is 4, I'm fine. I don't need to know theoretical nonsense. I don't need to know angles and stuff. Because if you shortest point to any distance is a straight line, boom, done. I don't need to know angles. I'm not a professional like shooter or an archer. I don't work in architecture. I don't work in anything. I'm an investor. That is what I do for money as of right now. Uh, I did study history. I did. I was actually, when I first went to college, I was going to get a degree in political science. I love politics. I love the idea. I love sociology. I love how humans interact. And I I love history. Uh, I have the Lego. Oop, right there. Boom. Working on spatial awareness. Thank you for the follow. Um, but yeah, no, I love history. That's why things like EU4, history-based games, Rome Total War, things like that drew me in. But I've always been a history guy. I've always been very interested in wanting to learn about a a culture and also learning why things happen. You know, because like one of the best arguments, and they are arguments because I've gotten in when people go like, "If you had a time machine, would you go back and kill baby Hitler?" It's like, no, because Germany was gonna make a Hitler. Now, maybe not the Hitler we got, but something along those lines. The German populace hated the Jewish community. They were the whole 9 yards. Was There was the propaganda behind it. They were going to they were heading down that road, and Hitler was just the charismatic, loud guy that on the stage went up, said, "Hey, this is what we're going to do," and at the point before it could be stopped, it just was like, "Oh yeah, the crazy guy's in charge now, yay!" Um, oh, I mean, yeah. But see, you have to understand when it comes to when taking from the natives, we're not the first to do it, and we won't be the last. I mean, it's just the idea of I have either more people to lose, better weapons, or both. And that's the way it was with the natives. And we rolled in with muskets and cannons and horses. And they had bow and arrows, and they were more of a passive. Well, not too passive, but they were more like, yeah, we're all sort of here. Besides some like food disputes and things like that, we're sort of a peaceful society. So when we came in and we just kept pushing, and it was us, it was the Spaniards, it was the Portuguese, it was the Germans, it was the French, it was the uh, British. Even after we became the U.S., everyone. There's a lot of Americans who couldn't even tell you who the president is. So when stuff like that comes, when people go, "Oh, there's people who didn't know that they didn't take we took land from the natives." Well, yeah, I mean there are people who can't even tell you the last three presidents of the U.S. who live in the U.S. So I'm not surprised that not only European educational systems, American educational systems, Asian, wherever, it's so far gone. Just education systems around the world are just so deteriorated because there's the agendas of politicians who get in, and we should teach this, and it's not even federal or top level. It can be state, it can be local. Um, Asians, they say that, but see, there's practical knowledge, and then there's book knowledge, and I feel the Asians and China, Japan, South Korea definitely are more focused on you have to be the best of the best, mainly in China because the population issue that is sort of slowly going down. But it's like you have to be the best, and it's just that culture of just you have to be number one. If you're not number one, you're number nothing. There is no second place trophy. And in the US, when I was growing up, and I still see it today with kids, where it's like, oh, you get the second place trophy, you get the participation trophy, you get this. There's that reward factor for for everything. And that's not right, because it robs the person, whether it's a child, an adult, whoever. If you reward them for just doing something, that's not the best way, because here's the thing, it's not like the whole like, oh well, they may not figure it out or do it right, but I'm a gamer. I love gaming. Now, I hate puzzle games. I hate puzzle games with a passion. I don't like platformers per se. I'll play them, but I just feel like, oh yeah, jump from here to there, put this in this slot. It's just not. It's like it feels like if I need a mental exercise, I'll play. Um, I'll do like a crossword or a Sudoku puzzle or something. I don't want to play a video game that makes me necessarily think too much. I'm a stock investor, is what it's my. I am going to answer the question. I just feel like my lamp looks. I've never noticed that. Like my lamp looks tilted. I have like the leaning lamp of Pisa going on. No, puzzle games are like, hmm, sort of like, or platformers too as well. Just the you press button to jump. Um, like things like Super Mario and Legend of Zelda, and like, oh yeah, you have to move this thing over here to do the thing. Um, are you asking me about Bitcoin? Because if you are, I would possibly ban you. It's only a joke, but cryptocurrency is the most idiotic. Well, no, let me rephrase it. NFTs have now replaced cryptocurrency as the most stupid idea for an investment strategy. But before that, cryptocurrency, the whole concept of cryptocurrency boggles my little brain. And it may be because I fully don't understand it. But you're telling me I take real money, whether it's a US dollar, Philippine peso, a German mark, a Russian ruble, or whatever, and I take it and I give it to you. And you tell me, because now you don't even own a Bitcoin, you own part of a Bitcoin, then now I don't get a currency back. I get a hard drive. I get a data point in my hand that if I lose the password to, or if I misplace, which I guess you could always misplace money. I get that. Like you have a stack of hundreds or a stack of tens or just some pocket change that you misplace. I get that. But if I forget the login information to my bank account, I can call the bank and say, hey, I forgot my password, or I forgot my PIN. Here's my social security number. Here's my date of birth, whatever. And I get that information back. But Bitcoin, the fact that it could, and a lot of people don't talk about that, it could disappear tomorrow. The person, the group of people who first made it, who distributed it, could get rid of it. There is no regulation. There is no guarantee. There's no oversight. Now, of course, it's updated and it's monitored. But see, that's the thing. If you're gonna manage it yourself, and this is why I tell people, if you're gonna, and people should always have a hand in how their money is being invested, managed. Okay, so here we go. Boom, breaking down over here, right here, this right here. Boom, old meme potential. Okay, so same way with stock, Bitcoin, NFTs. Those three things are all on this same plane of existence as an investment. Okay, you have $100. Now you buy this stock, let's Apple, okay? Let's say Apple, it's not, but let's say no NFT. But see, here's the point I'm going to make. NFTs still apply, even if they are stupid. They still apply. Let's say Apple shares are $100. You can buy one Bitcoin for $100 and one FT for $100. You have 100. And let's say you go to the Apple stock room. You buy the one share of Apple stock for $100. For in this example world, the reason why stocks are better is because Apple, as a legitimate company that offers a product or a service, reports how they make their money on a usually a quarterly basis, can show why this part of their company is worth that much money. Okay? Bitcoin. And NFTs to a greater extent are more of a it's worth this much because I say so. Bitcoin's a little bit different because Bitcoin is what I would call more of a commodity investment. There's only a limited number of Bitcoins out there. So the rarity is why it's worth so much, is because the people who made Bitcoin, or the person who made it, said, I'm not going to print anymore. I'm not going to make, this is it. This is the limited number of Bitcoin in existence. Oh, you went into some check right there. My brain, it's like English brain, like error 404. But see, that's the thing. But NFTs, no, it's okay. So NFTs are really the worst of the three, because NFTs are, you bought this for $100, you know, this NFT, for however much. Again, I don't know the currency of the Czech Republic, but you bought this NFT. The problem with NFTs is you then have to convince someone else when you go to sell it that it's worth more than you paid for. Because again, something can be valued at $100, but if no one will pay you that $100, I can say my left sock is worth 10 grand. But if no one buys it for $10,000, then it's not really worth 10 grand. Same way with NFTs. It's just that idea of, yeah, you tell some, you know, hey, moron on the internet, this NFT of this monkey with a hat that's slightly green is worth $1,000, and they pay it. That's then their problem to deal with someone else to sell it for $1,500, or even, let's say, a 10% gain of $1,100. That's their problem. If you can convince. Stocks, on the other hand, have intrinsic value because you're buying a piece of that company. And cryptocurrencies are sort of that same sort of aspect of you're no longer buying the currency anymore, like with Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, most of the cryptos now, you're buying parts of them. And without that intrinsic value, you're really losing out on your investment, because like you're saying. So see, that's the thing. They're trying to, when they're talking about NFTs, it's more trying to say you then own the right to that image. Like you own the copyright, for example, of that image. And no one else can use that image without your express consent. But on the downloading aspect of its side, you could download a stock. You could be issued a paper, because you see them anymore. You see those, like in movies now, because they used to, just because it's not worth it anymore, because people like major companies are usually traded in the thousands or hundreds of shares at a time type thing. But you could be technically download and get a hard copy, at least on the US stock exchange, of your shares of Apple or Google or any company. That's usually why, like, you see in like time travel movies, or like, oh yeah, Grandpa has, he keeps saying, oh, I have shares in Exxon Mobil back when I used to work for him in the 40s. And then they just think he's crazy, and then sure enough, oh yeah, he did. And back then they were worth $1. Now today they're worth like 80 a piece, and he has like 4,000, and we're like millionaires. And I mean, you could technically download a stock and get a hard copy of a share if you wanted. But Bitcoin, again, I just feel the problem with Bitcoin and crypto in general is there's no oversight. There is no regulation. And I understand. And it sort of shows with its volatility that just out of nowhere, and we're not even talking about the effects it has on the environment. Because again, cryptocurrency, the mining and all that, does put strain on power grids, does increase CO2 emissions. And I do preference this. If anyone watches this in the future, and if Bitcoin becomes the thing, I am anti-cryptocurrency. I've had people come to me as with the stock knowledge I have, and they look at me and go, hey, tell me about crypto. I want to take this money. It's like, no. If you want to burn $100, like, go get a stripper, or go out to eat, or go see, like here in the US, like go see like 2 movies pretty much. Um like don't, because here's the thing, you could, Elon Musk could tweet out that the cryptocurrency you just bought is the next best thing, and again, the problem it comes down to is if you can't convince someone that this is worth more than you paid for. And cryptocurrencies are that way until they get traction, like Ethereum and Bitcoin and Dogecoin and so on and so forth. Until they get that traction, I could own, because I remember, um gosh, Bitcoin had not been out for too long, and everyone was just making fun of it that I knew. And I played in a paper magic tournament, and the first place prize was like, I think like $30 worth of magic cards, like packs and stuff. Second place was like $15. And then for a joke, like is third through fifth place was like $5 worth of Bitcoin. And back then it was like maybe like $1 a coin or something. So I mean, if you had that now, you'd have like, I think probably close to like 300 grand just in that. But it's like, it was just a joke. But if you don't, the rule is every person, you can. But just like, and to give an example, just like when it comes down to the lottery ticket sort of scenario, or the OTC market here in the US, you can make money off an idea, off a concept. And I'm not saying you're wrong. People have made money. And again, like I was just going down, people who owned back in the day when it was 50 cents a Bitcoin, or $1, or even $10. Heck, even when Bitcoin was $1,000 a coin and you bought it, I mean, it's up in what, the 30, 40, $50,000 range now, USD? Of course, that's an amazing profit. But the problem comes down to it's not regulated. And that's where I step back. Where it's like there's no oversight. That tomorrow it could just disappear. The person who made it, or the group, or whoever, could just, it could go, they could close it down. And here's another thing. I doubt they would, but there have been talks in the past, and that's where you sort of see some of the major fluctuations. If major countries just go US and Canada and the EU, I know the EU is not a country, but governing body of most regulatory of European nations, China and all that, go, yeah, here's laws against cryptocurrency. You can't do this anymore. Because the US teased that, and China teased it. Like, we're going to either tax it to hell, or we're going to stop. It's going to be illegal to mine cryptocurrencies. People panic. And we've seen those $15,000, $20,000 dips. And they sometimes recover, and then sometimes they don't. But just like with any investment, you have to manage the risk, manage your exposure to said problem. And I feel that's where most people miss the point. They miss that when it comes to cryptocurrencies of it's going to be hard to have another Bitcoin take off. It's going to be hard for another Ethereum or another Dogecoin or another fill in the blank to happen. And the problem is there's so many, because I could make a cryptocurrency tomorrow. I could make the Dollar coin or the Memento coin. And it could be, I could say there's 2 million Memento coins in existence. I won't ever make any more. But well, yeah, but see that there's a little bit more regulation to it. So you can sort of see a company dying. There's usually never, it has happened, but it's very rare for a reputable country to just disappear in a day. Usually you can see the writing on the wall. Usually. Now, again, we've had moments like the dot-com bubble of the late 90s, early 2000s of just, yeah, this, again, is sort of like, honestly, the stock market equivalent of maybe more NFTs than Bitcoin, of just, oh yeah, this company's worth money because they do this with their website and it's so cool. And it's like, but what do they do? But they say they have this and they have this on their website and it's amazing. And but what do they do? Like you said, NFTs, you can just save the image. The NFT is worthless because you can't legally enforce the copyright. You know, and because again, there's that group who bought the NFT of Dune, thinking it gave them the copyright. They spent like $2.1 million on it. That's not how copyrights work. And again, and a lot of problems with NFTs, I know we're both in agreement that NFTs suck, is that sometimes the person who's selling the NFT isn't even the owner of the NFT in the first place. Sometimes they just go, yeah, we sold it to you, but they may have sold that NFT to 15 other people. So it's like, and then they're in the wind. They're just some email address that's just gone. And with crypto, I just feel that, and it's just because this is where the stock investor side of me comes in, where it's like, I can't put a face to the person who made Bitcoin. There is no board of directors. There is no one reporting to any government agent, even if it wasn't even the US, like the SEC or the Federal Trade Commission. Even if it was somewhere in Europe or in China or anywhere, they reported to someone that, yes, we haven't printed any more Bitcoins, or we haven't minted, or whatever they do with Bitcoins, I'd feel a little better. But overall, when you can't look at me and I can't look someone in the face, Google their history and go, have they done shady stuff in the past? Or what's my guarantee that I give you $10,000 and I buy half a Bitcoin or a third or whatever that's worth, that tomorrow you're still here. See, like if I bought, let's say, 4 shares of Apple or Google, unless just they pull the greatest scam in the world, they're not going anywhere. I mean, they could eventually, the world could wake up and start caring that Apple products are made by underpaid workers in China, and either force them to move to either pay them better conditions, give them better conditions, or move them to a better country. But I like my iPad. And if a faceless Asian person died making this, doesn't matter. I'm an American. I'm going to buy it because I'll put hashtag stand with the Ukraine, but I don't care that probably 3 workers tried to throw themselves off of a manufacturing facility in China to make this, because that's not what the news tells me to feel. You know, I don't know. I'm sort of taking a step back and uh, uh, well, yeah, that's true, and and I feel besides like a 401k or an IRA, and I don't know the Czech Republic equivalent. Anytime I tell people when they ask me if for advice of investing, same way with anything, because an investment is a gamble. There are more, how do I put it? There's more reasonable gambles. Hey, I think Apple stock could go up $1. That's a little bit more reasonable of a gamble than I think it's going to go up to $10 million a share by tomorrow. And it's like, it's not improbable, but it's a very low chance. But that's with anything: scratch off tickets, stock investing, NFTs, Bitcoin, anything. You take your money into your own hands. Just be prepared to lose. That is why the number one advice, there's 2 rules of thumb for stock investing on for me. When you first start, when you've doubled your money, when you've made that 100%, let's say you go in with 100 and you've made 200 now, pull your initial 100 out. And Craghammer, my friend Pudge, has the saying, then you're playing with house money. That was money that wasn't real when you first started. You've doubled. This is what you've made. So now you've taken your initial investment out. Win, lose, stay the same, doesn't matter. You've lost nothing. You've only can lose what you've gained. And most people don't do that. Most people go, oh, I'm going to double up again, and then they lose everything. It's like, what happened? It's like, you got greedy. And unlike the Wolf of Wall Street and all that, and Gordon Gekko and all that, it's like, greed's good. It's not. Greed kills people. That's why it's one of the 7 deadly sins. Greed ends people. And my second rule of thumb, especially in stock investing, and now to an extent Bitcoin, I have the AMY principle, the AMYI principle, and that is accept you missed it. And that's just the truth. Accept you missed that Bitcoin back over a decade or however long ago it was. Yeah, if you put $100 in Bitcoin back in the day, multi-millionaire easy. Cool. I look at it and go, even if I was interested, I wouldn't do Bitcoin. Even micro Bitcoin, I missed it. It's worth something now. It's worth tens of thousands of dollars now, but what? If I want something that'll grow by 2% a day or 1.5% guaranteed a day, again, I'll jump into Apple or an ETF fund or something like that, something that has a little bit more, it's not a guarantee, but it's, I feel, more stable than cryptocurrencies. Personally, anyways. I don't know, alert. What was that? Anyways. Yeah, man, I've been yammering on for an hour and a half now. Blinking, you kind of miss it, sort of thing. But what else should I talk about? I was talking more about the channel, I guess. So yeah, definitely trading cards tomorrow. Uh, and it's probably gonna be cards. KARDS. It's on Steam. Uh, I may break it up to an hour of one, an hour of something else, but definitely cards. I feel is what I'm gonna start with tomorrow. I haven't played it in like over 2.5 years. I'm sure the meta has changed drastically. So I'll have to. It'll be a fun ride jumping back in. I do play Magic the Gathering Arena daily, but the company sets WotC has Wizards of the Coast has ruined it, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. Just like with most free to play games, um, it's pay to win now. They I play for casual fun just to complete the daily quest on it, and I get stomped by the net decking, the tier one debts and casual. There's just like I just want to get my daily gold and leave type quest, and it's just I just don't get it. I'm sad to see what Magic has become, and I remember my first time playing Magic, right? Because the funny thing was, I mean, when I was a kid, I collected the cards just because I liked the artwork. I just thought it was cool. And yeah, I'm sad I've lost my card collection from when I was a kid. And there are some of the cards that are worth money in Pokemon and Magic that I own that I've lost. Like I lost my card collection. But when I first started playing Magic, I got one of the little pre-constructed dual decks from Toys R Us back before they closed down here in the U.S. and played with my girlfriend at the time. She got one and I got one. I knew how the game was played. I understood the rules, and we played. And my God, it was fun. Drawing that right card at the right time, nothing overpowered, and that's the Magic I love playing. I played with Hammer. We've done some events together here before COVID hit, and a lot of stuff got closed down. But I've had people from the Magic community here look at me and say, "Oh, you're a noob." It's like, no, I just have fun. I don't need to spend $2,000 to build the deck that does the thing to make myself feel better. Sometimes I just want to pick up a pile of cards, shuffle them up, draw, and go, let's do this. Let's see if this works. Because back when I used to play at Friday Night Magic, my local game store, I I was the guy when I first started, because it was shortly after I started playing with my girlfriend, and then I went to Friday Night Magic because I was like, we enjoyed playing, but once you start playing against the same opponent, you sort of know the debts they build and things like that. So we went to Friday Night Magic, and you're looking at the guy who would sit down, and now the minimum number in normal Magic you can have is 60 cards in a deck. I was the guy coming in with like 123 card decks because it's like, ooh, that's cool, I want to play that. Ooh, that's cool, I want to do this. Ooh, I like that, I'm going to play that. And I think for the first 12, my first 3 months of playing at Friday Night Magic, I was last place. Every time. I maybe won one game a night, but I had fun playing it because I would sit down across from my opponent, and I knew, oh, if I get this card and I draw this and I do that, and if this magic line works out, it would be amazing. And the more I played, the less fun it became because I was losing. And my opponents were the rudest in the beginning. Some of the people I played were so rude. They blatantly mocked me in front of my face. Because apparently there was a magic card back in the day that if you had like 212 cards in your deck and you had it in your opening hand, you automatically won or something like that. And they go, oh my gosh, I'm playing against this deck. I didn't even know that was in standard. Haha. And I just wanted to have fun. And it slowly lost its fun. I had to win. And I don't know when that switch flipped for me, but it did. And I was the guy spending $50 on cardboard, little cutout painted cardboard, so I could beat that person over there. And it wasn't, and for pardon the pun, magic was no longer magical for me. And I had to take a step back. I had a moment where I broke. I mentally broke because I lost a game of magic. To the point where, the point I was depressed that I lost. I lost. To the point I was so downtrodden, I sold my entire paper magic collection. I was done. Except for the lands. I still have the full art lands. Because I knew I wasn't completely done. But at that point, it's like, paper magic, I'm done. I couldn't. And I walked away for like 3 years, 4 years, didn't even pick it back up. I didn't start playing again until Magic Arena got launched. But it was like, I can't do this anymore. And so I don't play competitively. I play to have fun. And that's why Arena is something I don't think I will stream, because it's one of those things where I want to have fun, but I'm part of that 0.5% that I get matched up with that want to have fun. It's like, no, I need to win now. They need that dopamine hit, like a drug to them. Like, I don't win, it's not worth playing. It's like, no, sometimes it's fun to. There's this, God. So there was this one deck. So it was, to explain the concept, there's a set that came out that had an energy thing. So essentially what would happen, it wasn't, I don't know how familiar anyone watching is with Magic, but I'm not talking about like Aetherwork Marvel or Saheeli Rai or anything like that, but it's during the Kaladesh block. And there's Panharmonicon and this Whirler Virtuoso. And I built this deck. It worked twice. And my God, when it worked, the look on my opponent's face was priceless. So there was this deck where this Whirler Virtuoso card, you could pay 3 energy and create a little 1/1 creature. But with like Panharmonicon and other artifacts and all these cards, if you got the right combination of cards, you could get the 3 energy. By Solid Snake. You could get the 3 energy to pay to make the Thopter, the little Thopter token, and when it came into the battlefield, it would make 3 energy. So you could do an infinite number of Thopters. And I played, God, I can't remember the guy's name, but he wasn't, and again, against a normal deck that actually functioned properly, I lost. It was one of the times where I was like, I'm just going to go play to have fun. And I would lose. But I played against him, and I got it off. And because I didn't have to tap the creature, it just was pay 3 energy to do it. Like, at the end of his turn, it's like, I can't remember. I think I said I made 875 billion Thopters. My turn. And he was like, wait, what? because he was tapped out. I think he had like one card in hand or something. But it's like, yeah, because this enters and this does this, and it's like I went infinite, and it was like he had that look of, you can do that. It's like, yeah, man, I certainly can. Boom. Uh, but yeah. Um. So yeah. I don't know. It was. I did. What else did I do that I had fun with? Oh, St. Patrick's Day. Friday Night Magic was on St. Patrick's Day one year, and I did a mono green deck. And then there was these two guys that would come in, and they built. They tried. They didn't have the money to build like top tier decks, so one of the guys, they funneled all their money into him to sort of have that the best they could get. And then they'd have a guy, the other guy was sort of like, yeah, I'm just here to have fun, support my friend. If I win anything and it helps him, sure. But anyways, he brought a mono green deck. And it got to the point we played one board state. We got to one board state where like both of our like fields, we had like I maybe a foot and a, well, not maybe like 2 feet long of creatures lined up across from each other. All the land in the flipping world, just top decking cards and either playing the creature or dropping the land and like pass, because we knew if the other person swung out, like you could make the favorable blocks and you'd lose on the swing back. And it just was like, I think I finally drew a card that like was able to like either buff one of my creatures ridiculously or gave something very huge trample or something, and I finally won. But it was amazing. We just sort of looked at each other and it's like, draw, play, just like, so how are you doing today? We're gonna, one of us is gonna win, hopefully at some point. But that was fun. My dog died. And that's not fun, but my dog died, and so I brought, it was before, it wasn't, again, this was years ago, back when, not the first time we went to Innistrad, but the Innistrad right before we went to Kaladesh. I built a werewolf deck, because it was, my dog died, so I built a werewolf deck for her. I think I got like 4th, it wasn't bad. And again, besides having like the stupid, like, 200 card decks of just, I want everything in this. I mean, I feel, and again, I always feel, and I tell people this, that if you have to bring a $500 deck to Friday Night Magic, which in some places is free, most places is like $5 entry fee, maybe 10 in some places. If you have to bring a $500 deck to a $10 tournament, that your maximum prize is maybe $20 in packs, or even if it's like something ridiculous like 50, ooh, like, just get a life. Go out and breathe the fresh air. What's the saying now? Don't touch the grass. Like, why do you need, now if it's like you could win like $1 million or $500,000 and you flew out somewhere to like, to a pro tour or whatever they're calling them now, oh heck yeah, bring the big guns. But what happened to just having fun, to being just a good human being? And that's what I hope this channel is. Just me being a good human being and having fun and playing to just enjoy what I'm playing. Because I will say that I don't want to compromise my mental and emotional health to do this. And that's why I stepped back for a month. Whereas like I was getting things in line, I was trying to work out schedules and timing and everything, and I've worked it out. And so hopefully you guys and gals and pals and vals, all the vals out there, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy this time that we're going to have together, however long it is. if my streaming and YouTube career lasts for the next week or for the next decade or for however long, I hope we have fun. Me, you, the dog, the cat, whatever. That we have fun. Because ultimately, that's what this is supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun for everyone involved. There will be moments where I rage quit. There will be moments where I get frustrated. There will be moments where I can either argue with my co host or with chat or with XYZ. Ultimately, though, going forward, and even in the past, let's have fun. Let's do stupid things. Let's make stupid jokes. Let's take a step back from the real world for a moment, 2 hours, or if you watch a YouTube video, anywhere from 20 minutes to sometimes 2 hours, depending on what the content is, and just enjoy yourself. I'm supposed to entertain you. What I'm doing is supposed to entertain me. And if you feel you can come along on that ride with me, with Crackhammer, with ESOT, with whoever comes into the community as a content creator, as an editor, as a XYZ, let's just have fun with it. And know this. I state this now. I may make a video on it more. We're humans. People will make mistakes. People will do stupid stuff. I mean, but barring legal ramifications, sometimes people may. I've done stupid stuff. There's stuff in my closet that, not that one. Oh, geez, facial awareness. Not that one, right there. Not Narnia's in there. We're gonna leave Narnia where it is. Nice. So I bet to say, I might actually have the Narnia books in my closet. It's a duality in the joke. Um, but everyone has skeletons. People have done stupid stuff. They've said stupid stuff. Sometimes you gotta learn to forgive and forget. I mean, like, if you straight up murdered someone, that's different. Or if you raped someone, that's different. But if you got in a fight on Facebook with your ex, I mean, was it right? No. But sometimes I feel with just the world today anymore, people get in that mindset of just, oh, they did something wrong a decade ago when they were young and stupid. Let's cancel. I'm only 27. Hopefully, God willing, I'm not even halfway through my life yet. You know how much more stupid stuff I can do? Hopefully, I can get some of my stupid stuff on camera and go viral. But I mean, people are stupid. People are gonna do stupid mistakes. I mean, Esop can tell you, Hunbun can tell you, I've done stupid. I've done stupid stuff in our relationship. She's still here, at least at the time of this live stream and recording. She is. Um, and God, I love my honey bunny. I do. And I want it to be the first stream and the first VOD with the shirt on. I'll stand up at the end and should really show it off. But God knows I don't deserve her. She is put up with more nonsense from me than she should. But God, I love her. She even though she can't, at the point of this recording anyways, she can't jump to save her life in a video game. I don't make fun of her. I really do. I really do find her height so adorable. I'm not gonna say it. I'm sure I've said it in a YouTube video somewhere, but I'm not gonna say it now. But she is, right now anyways, she's the perfect fit for me. And I enjoy making content with her. even if certain sections take longer than they should because she can't get past it, or if it seems like I get frustrated. Sometimes I do, but sometimes I'm frustrated at my own, and I've told her that before, where I'm angry at something I've done. And there's those moments where, being the loving partner she is, she tries to make it better. And sometimes, like, nope, I just need space. I guess I should fill this in as well. We are an LDR, and if you don't know what that means, if somehow you come across my channel, because I'm sure there's going to be mentions either on the group call or on my channel, we're in a long distance relationship. I'm here in the US. She is in the Philippines, and we're working on it. I don't know. I don't I always feel I always get emotional towards the end of something, an end of something long like this, where I'm just talking into the void. But sometimes the silence offers some reflection. And Isad is she's my favorite. Hanbun is my favorite. But yeah, we actually started I know I said it earlier in the video, but an Orts Must Die 2 series on the group call channel. So if you search the group call on YouTube, there may be a link on this sheet. There will be, actually. I'll put it in there. A link to the YouTube channel, the group call channel, and you can go watch Orts Must Die, Human Fall Flat, It Takes Two. Just a lot of good stuff over there. I'm open to community feedback. Comment section is below. I do read the comment section. I try to respond to people. And I take criticism. I'm putting out this content. And I don't know what's wrong if someone doesn't tell me. I can look and go, I don't think I'm doing anything different from person A, but again, the outside looking in, someone could tell me, hey, you're doing this wrong. You don't, your audio's a little off, or get a green screen or a background, or do this. Until someone says something, I'm not going to ever get mad at someone or jump on someone in the comments unless you're just blatantly just rude. But you say, hey, change this, do this. I've had some constructive criticism on at this time anyways, on some of my YouTube videos and things, and I've tried to change some stuff, because until someone says something, I'm gonna do something different. Or I'm gonna do something the same. I won't do something different until someone looks at me and says, hey, Memento, you sound a little off, or this video format's a little janky, so to speak. But I don't know. I do not know. But I feel I'm going to go ahead and call it here. I did an hour and 50 minutes. Again, I'll shoot for about the 2-hour mark for each one of my streams. And again, tomorrow we'll be playing cards. And I may do, like, I'll of course put the VOD up the following day on YouTube. There'll be a VOD playlist of all the Twitch streams, and again, I may make different playlists for different stuff, but there will always be the master VOD playlist. I guess I could do the general VOD, like General Zod playlist of all the Twitch VODs, and then if there's any like series for like Dragon Age, so on and so forth, I'll break it down to that, and then maybe make shorter episodes for the channel. We'll see how it goes. But anyways, I have been Memento Dolor. Thank you for all who watch, for Twitch1, for Solid Snake CZ. I hope to see you all tomorrow. Same time, same place. And we'll have some fun with the trading card games. So see you then, and I'm heading out. Bye.